68,000 people here on a perfect day for rugby. It really couldn't be better. It's dry, it's pretty warm, and the field is firm. There's virtually no wind, so who wins the toss doesn't matter. In point of fact, we have heard that Jock Hobbs won the toss. We don't know which way he's going to play. He'll probably only decide when he comes out onto the field. And what a wonderful sight. And let's have a look at these teams. There is the New Zealand side, exactly the same team as we had in the last international, with Jock Hobbs the captain, those two powerful locks from Auckland, Hayden and Gary Wetton, and the side that did so well in Durban. Grant Fox, who scored 22 points in the 2 tests so far, and everyone says he's got his kicking boots on, so that's a prospect to be waited for. Springbok side with the 3 changes. Garth Wright coming in for his first match, and in the front row Frans Erasmus, that tower of solid muscle from the southwestern districts originally, now playing for Northern Transvaal, and Piet Creer, who's played nearly all his provincial rugby for Northern Transvaal, now playing for Transvaal, and we're waiting for the 2 teams to appear. In the meantime, a bit of the fun of the fair going on out there. Naas Botha, who has scored now 204 points in the 19 internationals that he's played. And as you can see, we said all the fun of the fair, the Kiwi flag. It's amazing how many New Zealanders are in this country following the tour, and with the teams 1-1 with 2 to go, an absolutely beautiful prospect for a lovely game here at Loftus Versfeld.
Well, I suppose everybody's saying this is the 50-50 test match. Who would put money on this test match? But I just was thinking earlier, about 5 minutes ago, about wondering how Garth Wright must feel at the moment. Frans Erasmus playing in their first test matches. They're such important games when you consider that the New Zealand loose forwards have 70 test caps amongst them, and Garth Wright coming into this vital game for South Africa, his first test match. Muir College, the people down in the Eastern Cape must be holding thumbs for him, and one can only say, well, fasten your seat belts and grab a beverage and hang on to your seat.
But Garth Wright, I'm sure, up to it. He's a fine, nuggety little player, only 22 years of age, and he's played some very fine games for Eastern Province, and I'm sure everyone is holding thumbs for him. For the rest, we're going to have that titanic battle amongst the forwards with Skalk Burger and Louis Moorman renewing their great battle with Gary Wetton and Andy Hayden, and of course Murray Mexted having his duel at the back of the lineup with Jannie Breert. Murray Mexted, who has played 34 test matches, and we're not including these 2 because they're unofficial, but before he played in the first match here, he had 34 tests under his belt. And looking right down this New Zealander side, there's tremendous experience. Only Victor Simpson and Mike Clamp have played 2 tests each, and Grant Fox, but for the rest of them, nearly all of them have had over 20, and of course Andy Hayden, who's the veteran at the side at 35 years of age, has had 41 international matches behind him. So it's a question of the New Zealanders' tremendous rucking power against one thinks perhaps slightly better possession in the line-out from the Springboks, and will they use their backs? Will Naas Botha let the ball go down through the hands of Michael du Plessis, Dani Gerber, and here there's Jock Hobbs and Grant Fox, Mike Clamp. See, they're all looking, there's Gary Knight looking pretty tense. There's big Andy Hayden, Murray Mexted, Warwick Taylor, and last of all, Kieran Crowley. Look at that crowd in the background, absolutely jam-packed in the sunlight, mostly in shirt sleeves. It's really beautifully warm here, but not too hot for the players.
There'll be a great roar now, Chick.
Naas Botha on his home ground. There's Jannie Breert behind him. There's Frans Erasmus, Willie Schmidt, Piet Creer. There's big Louis Moorman. And just listen to that roar as the green jerseys appear on Loftus Versfeld. And all the fun of the fair here outside. There were Bryflaces going from 2 miles away, and lots of chaps celebrating from about 10 o'clock this morning. No one wonders what final bit of motivation they're getting there from Captain Jock Hobbs. Naspers looking pretty relaxed. One wonders.
Well, relaxed on the outside, but he must be pretty tense. What a lot of pressure on this Springbok captain and the fly half. Home ground, having kicked. One says he kicked badly last week. I'm not so sure that he kicked so badly as against having tremendous trouble with the swirling wind at Kings Park.
And the referee, Mr. Ken Rowlands, having his third international in this series. But remember, he had two previously. He had two when the Argentinians were here, one in Johannesburg and one in Durban. So it's his 5th international match he's handling here in South Africa. So what a great character he is. A real lover of the game of rugby. And there they are. Has it gone 10 meters? Yes, it has. And Skalkberger, it is with the ball in his hands. Frans Erasmus getting straight in there from the beginning. And Uli Schmidt. And Garth Wright. That's a good pass to Naspers. And there's a very good up and under. It's going to land inside the 22-meter area. And it hit the ground. Good work there by Loveridge to get it back to Crowley. And the touch judge there is Mr. Frank McMullen from New Zealand. Frank McMullen, who was here as part of the All Blacks team in 1960. And he handled the game on last Tuesday, Barbarians versus the New Zealanders, as referee. And Skalkberger, who took it two-handed there. Garth Wright, here's the drop goal attempt, but it's quite a long way off target, that one. I think perhaps he lifted his head too.
Well, yes, he came off it a little bit, but certainly worth the opportunity, worth the try. And one just wonders why the Springboks let their tie up and under bounce, because it was a very good one. Came down a meter inside or just outside the New Zealanders 22, and the ball was just left open to be cleared by the New Zealanders.
Grant Fox with his first kick of the game. And it's a lovely hanging ball. Louis Moolman going up for it. And Loveridge gets it. And straight into touch. Directly into touch. So Loveridge looking a little bit disappointed with himself. Number 9 on his back there. Loveridge has had 22 test caps for New Zealand. Willie Schmidt. And the referee giving a penalty to the Springboks for obstruction. And you saw there how he indicated to the New Zealanders the reason for that penalty. And a very important kick for Naspers. About 10 meters outside the 22. 15 meters in from touch. And he hit it well, and 3 points on the board for South Africa. There you have it, 2 minutes gone. So a very important advantage to get 3 points early on. I think psychologically, you and I have played in situations where it really, I think, puts your tails up, doesn't it?
Well, I think not only from the Springboks point of view, but also from Naspers' point of view, to get those 3 points on the board just as the binoculars go flying, and absolutely vital for the Springboks to get ahead.
A ball well taken by Val Bartman, and there he goes, Val Bartman with a good drive and getting support. That was number 7 was Kat Small there, and Naspers with it. Another good pass from Garth Wright. And Hugh, I think Garth Wright will be feeling pretty good. He's had 3 passes, all very good, into the hands of Naspers, and certainly he'll feel a lot better.
Well, I think those are the ones that, you know, when you lie awake at night thinking about the game and you get up in the morning and then you have that hour or two beforehand, you just, I'm sure that goes through the player's mind, what happens if the first 2 or 3 balls I get, I drop.
And I'm sure the Springboks will be determined to give a bit better protection to their scrum half than they did last week. And
that's a penalty for offside in the line out to New Zealand.
And Grant Fox indicating he's going to kick for the posts. And there you can see where it is. It's about 6 meters inside the Springbok half of the field. And of course, all infringements for a line out are given 15 meters in from touch. Wherever the offence occurred, whether it's 5 meters or 6 meters or 7, it's always given 15 meters in. And Grant Fox, who has already got 22 points from the first 2 tests.
And of course, this kick, there's a beautiful view of it. Equally as vital for the New Zealanders.
I don't think it'll be short. And it's looking good. Wait for the flags. Yes, 3-all it is. A penalty each. And a pretty fair reflection of the play so far. And running up there with the All Blacks couldn't quite grab it. Garthwaite with it. Good work by Frans Erasmus there. Michael du Plessis out to Gerber. And Donnie Gerber testing one for Crowley. Will the ball beat him into touch? Yes, a beautiful kick. It's for the Springboks right onto the attack. That's Donnie Gerber. Not much else he could do. He got a scrambled ball there.
Well, I think that probably a very good kick by Donnie Gerber, but Kieran Crowley, I think, caught a little unawares by the high felt, the hardness of the ground. He looked like he was going to have it well covered, and the ball just skipped away from him.
So Hika Reid now to throw in from no more than about 7 meters from his own try line. Mr. Steve Stradom, the touch to the far side. And there is Willie Schmidt going, barging for the line, but the cover defence came right across and really bundled him into touch there. But the Springboks have gained a few more vital meters, no more than 3 meters from their opponent's line. Hika Reid's throw. Well, Bartman going back to decided that Hobbs was in the line out, so back he comes. Well taken there. Well, Bartman it was. And well done, good possession. Garthwaite looking for a gap. And who's he got with him? Naasboerter, du Plessis, and Kunis in the line there. They were just, and a penalty there to the Springboks.
Playing the ball on the ground.
Referee in very quickly. All Blacks playing that ball on the ground. And here is another opportunity for Naasboerter. But good possession for the Springboks there.
Well, it was very good possession. Frans Erasmus has showed up well in the loose a couple of times. Here we see it again. Uli Schmidt on the charge. Now watches the ball come out. Michael du Plessis just a little bit undecided as he gets possession. Just waiting for the players to run into position. There goes Kunis. Now watch, there's a good tackle from Victor Simpson. And meanwhile, Naasboerter has kicked the goal.
And the Springboks leading by 2 penalties to 1. And as you can see there, 7 minutes gone. And it's been a pretty interesting first 7 minutes. And Grant Fox, see how well behind the All Blacks are. They don't want to take a chance of overrunning that ball. And a lovely hanging ball. Skalkberger who tapped it, and Uli Schmidt back to Botha. Naasboerter from inside his 22, so he can kick directly into touch. And he must be pleased with 2 out of 2 penalty attempts, both over. Naas has now kicked 210 points in Test rugby. Referee watching the Springboks are not in front of that last line of feet in that ruck. All Black ball. When the referee can't decide who stopped the play, he gives it to the side who are going forward. And so it's Dave Loveridge. Out to Fox. Fox, there's an up and under. There's also a good one. Under it is Kunis. Got man and ball. Did he mark? It was a fair, yes, he marked, I think. Fair catch given. No, it's a penalty. You see the arm up. A penalty given. I think the referee gave the mark and then said that there was a late charge. Kieran Crowley with it in his 22. And has he found touch? Yes.
And a very good return kick by Kieran Crowley.
It's interesting to see his thumb is bound up there. So now it's the New Zealanders on the attack.
Short line out by the Springboks.
Short line out. Burger trying to tap it back, and penalty for barging in the line out. Obstruction. Now Spuerta with that very long one, but right down the throat of Kieran Crowley. And Crowley runs there outside his 22, so he couldn't kick directly into touch. And Jaco Reinach.
Well, it's quite interesting to see Kieran Crowley kicking the ball down midfield there. That's, of course, how the New Zealanders got their try early on in the second test, when they did exactly that, and the Springboks were slow to clear, and Kieran Crowley using the same tactic again.
And in the final analysis, he gained some ground because it is the New Zealanders on the attack now, and an untidily tapped back ball there with Hika Reid coming in to try and save the situation, where the referee said it was knocked forward. Hika Reid.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch Frans Erasmus on the loosehead side for South Africa. Only his second scrum in Test rugby.
And scrumming against the redoubtable Gary Knight. John Fox and Warwick Taylor. A good rolling kick indeed, and it's going to beat Kunis into touch. Yeah, a very well placed rolling kick. That's Warwick Taylor there with his right arm bound up. And you can see what a good attacking position it is there for the New Zealanders. Gary Knight falling back, so it's a short line out again. Springboks are called for. That's Piet Creer, the new Springbok. And well taken by Louis Moorman. Garth Wright, back to Naas Botha. And Naas Botha, a good kick, but it hasn't found... Yes, it has, a beautiful one. Mike Clamp thought he was going to grab it inside the field of play, but it beat him out there. And the big Loftus Versfeld crowd just love Naas Botha. This is his home ground. There's Louis Moorman, behind him Skalkberger, number 1 Frans Erasmus. And that's a good tap back by the New Zealanders. Fox out there to Warwick Taylor. And there's another one of those raking kicks right down the middle of the field. Plenty of time for Carl du Plessis to get back and dot it down. But interesting, Hugh Bladen, that the New Zealanders seem to want to get South Africa kicking out for the dropouts.
Well, I think in that situation where it's scrum ball, there's a lot of pressure, backline against backline, and they're well inside their own half, and not a bad tactic, actually, to have them dropping out continuously.
And 12 minutes gone now in the first half of this match. Andy Hayden it was there, tapped back to Loveridge, and Loveridge keeping the ball in play. Under it is Carl du Plessis. And has he found touch? Yep.
No, it was Carl du Plessis. Very good play by the left wing. Of course, the wings these days in modern rugby brought more and more in as defenders and catchers and kickers. Short line out by the New Zealanders.
And that is Murray Mexted at the back, tapping back. Loveridge out to Fox. Fox gives it there to Shaw. And Mark Shaw barging his way and showing his power. And will they get second? They've got second phase. Out there, Fox. He's got Clamp with him. Mike Clamp. And he keeping it. A nice cross kick there. Donnie Gerber going back for it. But he will save the situation. Jock Hobbs is up, number 7. But the right thing to do to dot it down. Springboks leading 6 points to 3.
Well, Dave Loveridge is out cold, absolutely cold. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen there, the physiotherapist on the New Zealand side hurtled onto the field, and Dave Loveridge has hardly moved since he got a bit of a smack as he gave that pass out.
Well, it was tapped back by Murray Mexted, and he had to take a fairly high ball, and we were watching the ball, didn't see what happened, but he obviously must have got a pretty heavy tackle there, because down he went. That's big Andy Hayden, number 4 in his back. And there you can see Andy Donald getting ready. He's the substitute, number 20 on his back. And before he can go on, of course, the doctor has to certify that the injured player is not fit to continue.
Well, Dave Loveridge is up, and it was a bit of a frightening moment there as the physiotherapist hurtled onto the field, and Loveridge obviously took a very hard smack. That's their doctor, Laurie Knight, former All Black, who just walked away sporting a moustache. That's their the fellow in the blazer on the right is the physiotherapist on the tour, and Loveridge obviously very groggy.
One wonders whether Dave Loveridge wants to leave the field, but now Dr. Laurie Knight has been on, and he has certified, told the referee, yes, the referee wants the doctor to tell him, and there is the signal from the doctor to the referee that Loveridge is not fit to continue. So we have Andrew Donald coming onto the field, number 20 on his back.
Well,
he played in the first test, and he's a very good player indeed. And that substitution came after 14 minutes. And that was an interesting little move there with the ball going out to Jacko Reinach. And with it, that's Craig Green. Craig Green inside the Hobbs, but it was intercepted. And the Springboks have got possession. Nasbuurta running his way out of trouble. Dani Gerber. And from inside his 22, he was tackled there by, and I think that's a late tackle. I think that was definitely Victor Simpson who went into Dani Gerber after he had kicked the ball. The referee's given the penalty. The choice would have been to have it where the tackle occurred, or if it went out to touch 15 yards or meters in from where it went out. So Nasbuurta, here it is. Here it is again.
Yes, we see it again, and watch now, Dani Gerber just in with a kick, and well, again, Victor Simpson probably committed to the tackle. Just shortly after that, they had a little bit of a tussle, but the referee decided on the late tackle.
I think he could have taken a bit of the venom out of the tackle, perhaps. Anyway, Nasbuurta from about 3 meters inside his own half of the field. I think it's pushed to the right. No, just past the post. Kieran Crowley with plenty of time. 22 dropout.
Interesting to see the touch judge, Frank McMullen, obviously a lot of experience, pinned himself up against the pole until Kieran Crowley had decided what to do.
Grant Fox. And that's a nice hanging ball to let Hobbs get up there, and the rest of the New Zealanders. Mark Shaw. What a powerful chap he is. And here's second phase. Andrew Donald. There it goes to Warwick Taylor. Simpson has it. Crowley in the line, but a good kick ahead. But taken by Yanni Brett.
Well, that's tit for tat. Dani Gerber just late tackled Victor Simpson, and they both stood there wagging fingers at each other. And there's a contest. Well, the referee just calling your two together and saying, just cool down a little bit. Well, that's quite right.
And you see, he made them shake hands. And the crowd rather enjoyed that. But I still think a very stupid thing for Dani Gerber. He's a chap with a lot of experience.
Well, we'll see it again, here again, going through the hands of Warwick Taylor. Simpson just deciding on the kick. And again, those decisions are so marginal.
Well, now we're going to see whether Grant Fox can level the scores. It's a kick that I think he will expect to get. It's pretty well between the two sets of posts, so it's a fairly straight kick, and it is from the Springbok 10-meter line. Grant Fox, who kicked 301 points for Auckland in the 1984 season. And it's got all the distance. Is it straight? Wait for it. Yes, it's there. 6-all. As you can see, 18 minutes gone in the first half. So 2 penalties each. 2 by Fox against 2 by Nasbuurta. And a fairly fair reflection of the game so far. Right, well taken by Gary Wetton there. But what has the referee said?
Well, it's a penalty to the New Zealanders for Willie Schmidt going in with his boots up. That's under the law of dangerous play.
And Grant Fox will try and get touch. He's not going to get touch. He's got Nasbuurta in his 22. And Nasbuurta is going to get touch.
Just shows you how vital that finding touch against a player of Nas Buerta's prodigious distances is so necessary.
Andrew Donald, a good pass out there. Warwick Taylor has it now. Victor Simpson. And the kick ahead. Kunis chasing it. And out of touch. On the full, Johan Kunis, whose brother, Chris Kunis, used to play for Eastern Province many, many times. In fact, Johan said that one of the chaps he admired most in rugby, who taught him more than anything, was his elder brother, Chris. Good tap back there. Garthwaite, a lovely pass. Donny Gerber with it now. And into the line came Carl du Plessis. Knocked forward. Jock Hobbs with it. Advantage. Referee waiting for advantage, and it is indeed. And chasing it is Mike Clamp. Nas Buerta will have to hurry. Well done. And has Kunis got touch? Yeah. Here he is, Johan Kunis. Well taken, that was Gary Wetton. And we've now had 20 minutes in the first half, and the scores are level. 6 points to the Springboks and 6 points to the New Zealanders. And now on the halfway line, Andrew Donald held by Murray Mexted cleverly there. Fox misses out a man. Simpson misses out a man to Green, and Green trying to cut in. Runs into Michael du Plessis there. And Donny Gerber with it. Michael getting out into his position in the backs, but the referee says that ball is in a pile-up.
Well, it's interesting to see, Chick, that the New Zealanders really have not had a flowing backline on this tour. I think the Barbarians game was the first time where it really got into any cohesion into their backline. They've used the cutback movement a great deal and still not running with a great deal of cohesion.
Interesting to see the contrast with Warwick Taylor always inside centre. In contrast, the South Africans, Donny Gerber playing right all the time. Michael du Plessis left centre next to his brother. Garthwaite. Tackled by Mark Shaw as he kicked, and the referee says that was fine. There is Garthwaite, little number 9, playing his first test. And that is the New Zealanders quarter line, the 22, Hika Reid, Mr. Steve Stradom, the test referee in the background. Moorman trying to get Val Bartman picking it up now, helped by Jannie Breert, and that's Frans Erasmus going with it. Tackled by Hobbs, and Uli Schmidt getting it back. Garthwaite, and chipping, has it gone too far? No, it's a good one. Craig Green gets there with the ball, beats him into touch.
Well, the penalty there for the Garthwaite preventing Craig Green from throwing the ball in. A lot of people misinterpret this law. It is quite right. You cannot be inside the field of play and prevent a player from throwing the ball in quickly.
The referee, Mr. Rowlands from Wales, handling the game very well indeed. He's only the third referee in the history of South African rugby who will be handling all 4 internationals in the series. Murray Mexted, a duel at the back there. The referee said it was knocked forward. Murray Mexted is marked by Jannie Breert, and Murray Mexted used to play rugby for Wanderers here, and Jannie Breert plays in his old position now. That's a good up and under. Kunis has got a very testing one as Craig Green came up very quickly indeed, and Hobbs is there. And whistle going very loud. That was really torrid stuff with Jock Hobbs leading a rally there.
Well, I think that tackle was high.
And Nas Buerta from well inside his own 22-meter area. "23 minutes gone in this match, and the score's still level at 6 points each. And that's the halfway line just on the right of the screen. Hika Reid has Hayden in the front. They haven't used the front much so far in this match. Andy Hayden doing sterling work in the tight loose. Andy Donald back to Fox. And once again there's that kick right down the middle of the field, hoping to force a 22 dropout. And that's what they're going to do. We've got Warwick Taylor following up pretty quickly. Squirter getting his forwards well behind the kick. That's another nice hanging ball. Gary Wetton, number 5, waiting for it. And look at that support. Mexted in to help him straight away. And Andy Donald waiting for it. But sure, it is still going. And he's tackled by Uli Schmidt. Andy Donald running into trouble. And Garthright after Danny Gerber. And Gerber decides this is not a time to run. And he was still in his 22-meter area, but he hasn't found touch. And Jaco Reinach up there. Jaco Reinach trying to grab the ball, but Crowley holding on. And a torrid loose scrum there. Back to Simpson. Victor Simpson running with it. Out to Clamp. And Mike Clamp's in the open there. He's being chased by Buerta. Nas Buerta, Mike Clamp. And Mike Clamp forced out to touch there. Nas Buerta is a very quick chap over the ground. And I think he was always keeping on the inside shoulder of Mike Clamp.
Well, I think Nas Buerta actually did quite well. Nas Buerta really not renowned for his crash tackling, but he's certainly shown up recently in recent games. We saw him take Craig Green out on the corner flag at Newlands in the first test, and very good cover by the fly half.
And tapped back untidily by Skalkberger, but the referee, I think, say we're closing up at the back of the line out before the ball came in, so a free kick, not a penalty, a free kick for closing that meter gap that the forwards have to maintain until the ball has been thrown in. Buerta. Fox is under it, and a lovely kick, a quick throw in to Crowley. And Crowley from inside his 22. Buerta doesn't have the same opportunity for a quick throw in because Hika Reid was there as quick as a flash, and so was Gary Knight.
The man who really had to cover the most ground there was the touch judge.
Yes, Mr. Frank McMullen getting a lot of exercise. That's Skalkberger. Louis Moorman in front of him. And a penalty, the referee says, for obstruction.
Well, I think that's the 4th penalty New Zealand have given away for either barging or obstruction in the line-out. Jock Hobbs obviously just getting an explanation for it.
And it's quite interesting, the problem of the lifting of the line-out has been solved by the referees insisting on that meter gap between the players, because as he was explaining, wait a bit, watch for Grant Fox. Has he got his touch? Yes, he has this time. The referee was explaining if you start with your players 1 meter apart from each other, it's impossible to lift a man if you're a meter behind him. And he has been very strict on the players maintaining that meter gap between each other. Here's a short line. And 4 men from either side. And that looked like he had Small taking it. Nas Buerta. There's not an easy up and under. Gary Knight's under it, so's Andy Hayden. Coming up, Michael Duplessis very quickly. He was the man who picked it up. Louis Moorman with it now. Here's a drive. Skalkberger. Now they'll want to get it back, but what happened? Is it carried over?
5-meter
yes.
scrum carried over.
Carried over, and he was actually kicked the ball out in touch in goal. And this is the best chance the Springboks have had in this match to score, 5 meters away from their opponent's line. And it's there put in. Garthright, Nas Buerta. Will he do a drop kick? No. Out it goes. Missing out a man. There's Reinach. And he cuts in. But he had desperation tackle. Brought him down. Jock Hobbs is there. Picked it up very well. And Andrew Donald kicking it out. Very good work by Jock Hobbs covering there. And Jaco Reinach so nearly away.
Well, a nice move, the creative play by the Springbok backs, and got Jaco Reinach out in the open, but very good cover by the New Zealanders. 1, 2, 3 passes, and then the kick got them out of trouble.
And Murray Mexted barging through with it. There's the good possession. Fox, he's challenged by Val Bartman. Val Bartman just stopping himself in time. He wanted to go into Fox there, but he managed to check.
And of course we have Andy Donald on at scrum half for the injured Dave Loveridge.
Willie Schmidt. That back by Wetton. That was a good pass. And Warwick Taylor to Victor Simpson. Has Mike Clamp with him. And will this bounce kindly? Mike Clamp Buerta to Hughes. And that's all Johan Hughes could do there, that rolling kick. And I think the referee...
Well, he's just having a little word with Jannie Breert for a possible late tackle on Grant Fox there.
And there the Springboks, Louis Moorman with a beard, Frans Erasmus in front of him, number 1 on his back. There's the deep one, Mexted, and Val Bartman trying to fly hack it ahead. Garth Wright out to his teammate Donny Gerber. They both play for the same province down in Port Elizabeth way, and hasn't found touch. Crowley challenged by Reinach. That's a really long kick. Nice Buerta. Plenty of time, but he's been chased by Andy Donald, and he hasn't found touch. Back for it is Crowley, has Mexted with him. And what'll he do now? That's the long one once again to try and force the 22 dropout. Carl Duplessis, ball hasn't gone, or has it? Yes, it has gone over the line.
Well, at the moment they're playing gaining grounds.
Mike Clamp followed it right up. We've now had 30 minutes in this match, and the score's still level, 6 points each. Crowley hesitating as to whether to kick from inside his 22 or not, and there's no one there. Right down there, chased by Hughes. And once again the same pattern. Hughes challenged by Warwick Taylor.
Be interesting to see if Nice Buerta kicks this. Yes, he's going to kick a long one again. This is a game between Buerta and Crowley at the moment.
Crowley slipping it to Fox. And changing direction again, back to Crowley. He's got Mexted with him, Mexted. And Clamp outside him, but a good tackle by Gert Small. A little bit of playing the ball on the ground with the referee the other side. And back to Michael Duplessis. And not a badly judged kick. Very good one indeed by the Western Province chap, Michael Duplessis.
Well, the crowd liked that kick, but I saw Donny Gerber throwing his hands up in the air on the outside. There were about 6 Springbok backs waiting outside for it. Michael tightening it up, but possibly a good opportunity to have opened up the game.
And this is the place from where Nas likes to drop at goal. He's just behind the 22-metre line. Line out well inside the 22, and the Springboks have it. Garth Wright, and here's the drop goal attempt, and we're it for it. No, he's missed it. Referee very well positioned there. I think the referee anticipated that, and he ran as fast as he could to get underneath the post to see where the kick went, and it went to the left of the post, so the score remains 6-6.
Well, of course, it's very difficult for the referee when the ball comes out so quickly from the line out to get into position.
And Skalkberger going in for that ball, but Mexted got there first. In fact, it was Wetton. Jock Hobbs, Andy Donald. And that's a pretty long kick. There must be a bit of wind out there, one feels. Hughes, very well taken. He's also playing on his home ground. He plays for Northern Transvaal here.
Well, really, I think, Chick, at this stage, one should look for more imagination from 30 of the top international players in the world. Really, we've seen so little creativity, just kicking the ball straight down the field, no imagination. One wonders whether making mistakes is really so vital.
Well, tap back by Shaw. Fox, Warwick Taylor, Simpson, who dropped it. Referee waiting for advantage. And he's still waiting for advantage. If Hughes gets a good one, he'll allow the touch. Yes, that was good refereeing. The referee was saying the other evening, he doesn't mind how long the play goes on. If the advantage doesn't emanate, then he brings it back to where the knock forward took place. But the Springboks gain ground from that knock on by Simpson. Nicker Reid listening for the line-out call. They've used the back. They've hardly used Hobbs at all. He's hardly used Andy Hayden. That was Wetton. Fox out to Taylor. There's that kick right down the field again into the hands of Reinach to Hughes. Hughes driving them back. So what little wind there is I think in favour of the New Zealanders, but the flags aren't really standing out that much. 33 minutes gone in the first half. Scores still 2 penalties each. At the back there, Murray Mexted and Yanni Brett having a contest. Fox. There's Taylor. Taylor in a gap, but well tackled by the cover defence. Small. Hobbs had it then, Andy Hayden. And Andy Hayden knocked it forward, I think. John Ashworth, man who ended up with it, number 1 on his back.
Well, perhaps these long kicks have been just to lull the Springbok defence into thinking that they're going to kick all afternoon. Nice little gap by Warwick Taylor there, opening it up.
Very quick heel there, channel 1 ball. And Narsbuerter manages to land it in the field of play, but it doesn't touch. Jacko Reiner coming up to challenge Craig Green. But the inevitable touch and another line out. Springboks have got William Wilman at 2. They got Skalkberger at number 4. That was Skalkberger who went up for it. Yanni Brett going in. Garthwaite, Narsbuerter, and misses out. And Narsbuerter in the gap, looking inside, and that's Val Bartman over the 23-meter line. They'll want second phase, and they've got it. Change direction. Donny Gerber. Gerber out there, too small, and Small has Reinach. Reinach well tackled by the cover defence there, but it's still in. No, the referee's flag is up. And Donny Gerber very cross indeed. He thought that the ball was still in play. So a lot of spirited stuff there. Very good.
It was a quick throw in from the New Zealanders, resulting in a scrum to South Africa.
Well, play certainly livened up for a bit then. And good cover defence. Otherwise, Jacco Reinach might have got over in the corner there. Garthwaite about 6 meters away from his opponent's line. Yanni Brett picking it up. And he's tackled. Ball coming back, very difficult one. And Craig Green getting a boot into it and taking it well away from that danger area near his own try line. That's Jacco Reinach. And a hold up, I think, for an injury to the physiotherapist. Running on very quickly.
Mark Shaw it is.
Yeah. Mark Shaw, that big man from Manawatu. Sometimes has the nickname of Cowboy. And there are all the dignitaries. Big Louis Late up there, you can see in the middle. And some of the chairmen of the other unions. And Dr. Darnie Craven, of course. He will be biting his nails, no doubt, with the score having been at 6-all from the 18th minute, and we've now had 36 minutes. Uli Schmidt taken by Small at the back of the line out. Right to Buerta, missing out a man, Michael du Plessis, and that's Kiernes, Carl du Plessis, but did the ball go forward? No, it didn't. Val Bartman, no support, and he's rolled over, still got it. And Yanni Brett going in, trying to get the ball back for the Springboks. Furious ruck there, and a Springbok ball.
Well, good support from the Springbok number 6, Val Bartman. Came in at the right, the ball had gone all the way to the wing. There he is.
And that is the New Zealanders' 22-meter line. Cleverly
Chance
held
for
in the back.
Narsbuerter with a drop here.
Oh, not a very good pass there by Michael du Plessis. Reinach had to go back to get it and flip, reverse pass, another long one. Carl du Plessis, can he beat the man? He's been chased by Wetton, and Hickory is going for him, inside 2. Uli Schmidt is going to score. Uli Schmidt has scored. Uli Schmidt, some lovely work there by Carl du Plessis, and the crowd go mad.
Well, here we see it, a bit of indecisive play by the Springbok backs. Jacco Reinach gets it in a bad position. There he is now. Watch, he changes direction quite cleverly, actually. Johan Hiernes. The long ball out to Michael du Plessis, Carl du Plessis. Watch how he just straightens up Gary Wetton. Hickory comes across for the tackle. Lovely little pass in from Uli Schmidt. Uli Schmidt is very good on the run, and a wonderful try by the Springbok hooker.
And while you are watching that replay, the try has been converted by Narsbuerter. And it is 12 points to 6. Springboks leading by a goal and 2 penalties to the 2 penalties. Here it is again.
And here we see it from the other side. Nice little switch of direction here from Jaco Reinach. Not reckoned to be a great ball player, but does very well here. Watch that little switch to Johan Jonas. Now we watch perfectly from this side. A great wing, Karel du Plessis. See how he just straightens up Gary Wetton for a moment. There's Uli Schmidt on the right-hand side. Just cuts inside. Now a little bit of weak defense by the New Zealanders here. Gary Knight seemed to stop. Mike Clamp was unable to hold, and the surge was too much for Kieran Crowley.
But a very good pass there. I don't know if you noticed there that Karel du Plessis was crowded into touch. He had Uli Schmidt outside him.
Well, Karel du Plessis very rarely dies with the ball chick.
And Uli Schmidt very clever coming inside him, and Karel doing that reverse pass, which is never easy because you're not looking at the guy you're going to pass to until the last second, and he got his pass in. And Uli Schmidt, of course, very quick indeed for a hooker. And the tremendous roar you heard here was partly because this is also Uli Schmidt's home ground. He played for the university here for many years. He's now a medical doctor doing his national service. And here it is again. What's that long pass there into the hands of Karel du Plessis? And now Uli Schmidt, here he beats Gary Wetton on the outside. Hicker Reid going like the...
Very good tackle by Hicker Reid. And well positioned by Uli Schmidt. Gary Knight just seemed to stop. I think he thought Mike Clamp was coming in for the tackle, and then that surge.
And the injury over, and play on again over on the far side. Andrew Donald out there to Fox, a short one in there to Greg Green. They've practiced that time and again. And second phase, here's Fox again. They could have a man over here. Fox looking on the inside there. Tackled just inside the Springbok 22, and here's Mark Shaw going for it. And Uli Schmidt it was who tackled him. And a penalty, who is it to? It is to the All Blacks, I think.
Yes, the Springboks playing the ball on the ground.
I couldn't help feeling when Uli Schmidt did that tackle, he seemed to grab the ball and prevent the possible second phase. And here's an absolute gift penalty for the New Zealanders. As you can see, it's very close to the posts. And one thing is certain, and that is that Grant Fox won't be short. There. Here it is again in the slow motion. There's Shaw going down, and watch Uli Schmidt.
Was he holding the ball, but then the surge as the ball was coming again. Uli Schmidt just holding onto the ball as he's held on the ground there. Can see quite clearly he was kneeling.
Yes, the law says if you've got even one knee on the ground, then you must release the ball. So Fox, can he make it 12 points to 9? 12-6 it is at the moment. And we're already in injury time. We've had 41 minutes on the stopwatch. Grant Fox. Yeah, it's there all the way. That's Grant Fox's third penalty. And 12 points to 9 the score. There you can see 41 minutes in the first half. But we have had quite a few stoppages. And the points made up for South Africa, a goal and 2 penalties. For the New Zealanders, 3 penalties. 12 points to 9, and half-time looming up. Under it is Gary Wetton, but the referee said the Springbok forwards were all ahead of the ball when it was kicked. And the New Zealanders opt for a set scrum. They could have had a kick again if they wanted it. Frans Erasmus on this side going down against Gary Knight. Andrew Donald reversing direction, but he's tackled. And Murray Mexted in there to help, and they shoveled it out really to Crowley. Crowley hasn't found touch, he's found Naas Botha. And Naas Botha over the head of Crowley this time. Awkward bouncing ball. And Crowley with all the time in the world. And the referee says that is half-time, and so at half-time it's the Springboks leading by a goal and 2 penalties to the 3 penalties of the New Zealanders. Now we're about to have the second half, and we're on, and there we are. Has it gone 10 meters? Yes, Andy Hayden tapped to Gary Wetton, has it now, and Andy Donald says, let's have it. Hicker Reid, I think, has grabbed it, but a Springbok hand or two is around it. In goes Hicker Reid again, and good work by Gary Knight. Andrew Donald with it. To Jock Hobbs, the captain. Here's the drive, and they'll want second phase. Beautiful second phase. Fox, Taylor, and a lovely break by Taylor. Tackled by Naas Botha, but inside there, Simpson, and that's over the 22-meter line. Andy Donald. And they could have a man over here. Crowley in the line. Crowley cutting back, though. Gary Knight helping. And reverse direction. That is Taylor. That is Craig Green. Craig Green. And the Springboks defence at 6s and 7s at the moment. Second phase again. Andrew Donald. And that is Fox. The long pass out there to fullback Crowley. And Crowley scored. Crowley is in. And that was beautiful rugby with second phase coming back and again. The Springbok defence all over the place. And with that beautiful loose ruck ball, here it is.
Well, this is a combination of a couple of rucks, and Grant Fox reading the situation very well. The long pass over to Kieran Crowley. Kieran Crowley taking it above his head very well, and he goes into score, but some certainly little weak defence by the Springboks enabled them to, the New Zealanders, to cross the advantage line. Here we see it again, Fox with the overhead pass. Crowley taking it very well indeed. No defence in sight at this stage. They'd all been committed.
And Crowley even had Mike Clamp outside him as an extra man. And now we're going to see this difficult conversion attempt. The New Zealanders 1 point ahead with the kick to come. 13 points to 12. Each side having scored 1 try in this match. Grant Fox has kicked pretty well so far. It's a difficult angle. And wait for it. Yes, it's there. A beautiful conversion from about as difficult a place as you can get. And Grant Fox will be delighted about that. 15 points to 12, as you see. And each side has scored a goal. South Africa 2 penalties and the New Zealanders 3. So that is great success for the New Zealanders straight away. And looks as though they've got this ball, they're controlling it. There's the drive. And Murray Bexted flicking it back to Fox. Taylor with it, Crowley with it. Crowley it is now with it. And second phase, Shaw. Mark Shaw bullocking his way forward. Hicker Reid helping. Number 3 is Gary Knight. Jock Hobbs standing clear at number 7, but he's behind that last line of feet. Fox. Kunis coming across. Outside his 22. And Crowley is also outside his 22. What will he do? There's that long raking kick right down the middle. Jaco Reinach waiting for it. Nasbuerta. And he's challenged by Donald, but he did well to get his kick. It hasn't found touch again. And Fox with all the time in the world. Keeping the ball in play. That was a deliberate up and under. Nasbuerta going for it. And kicking it ahead into the hands of Crowley. Crowley, a good rolling kick.
Well, I'm not sure that we've seen a test match where there's been so much kicking up and down the field. But certainly the Springboks will have to tighten up their defence. The All Blacks rolling more, going well in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
There's Gary Knight in the front, Wetton behind him, Shaw behind him. And Andy Donald, referee waiting for advantage. Through the hands of Taylor to Simpson. Simpson in the gap. Kunis, a difficult one. And it bounced very awkwardly. Donnie Gerber is there. Ball grabbed by Donnie Gerber. Hicker Reid was there to tackle him. And All Black ball.
Well, Donnie Gerber went very well in there. Jock Hobbs so nearly got possession, and if he had got possession of that ball, would have been a very difficult situation for South Africa. But right now it's all New Zealand.
Donnie Gerber trapped at the bottom of that ruck that time.
One of the features of this game has been how few scrums have collapsed and the evenness of the scrums.
Grant Fox, is that a little knock on? Yes, says the referee. Scrum down, Springbok ball. And this is just, there's the halfway line. Garth Wright has a word with Nasbuerta just before he put the ball in there. Scrum is swinging around a little bit. Garth Wright to Nas. And has he timed it well? He's bounced it inside the field of play, being chased by Jaco Reinach. Awkward one for Crowley. And Reinach did well to get Crowley there. And a tremendous fly hack that didn't go out into the rescue is Murray Mexted right at the back there, picking it up. Cowboy Shaw and Uli Schmidt just getting acquainted there. And the Springboks, as you can see, in a good position, but it is Andrew Donald to put the ball in, and the All Blacks very seldom don't hook it when that happens. We haven't noticed any heels against the head so far. That's Grant Fox. That is the New Zealanders' 25-metre line. As you can see, there's Mark Shaw. Gary Wetton behind him. Tap back, Hickareed with it, or nearly with it. But the referee said it was knocked forward and a New Zealanders' ball. Two powerful front rows. Pete Creer on this side, coming against John Ashworth. And the referee says a free kick, not a penalty for not in straight. Or was it foot up?
Foot up.
Yeah, foot up. Notice when he holds his hand like that, it's a free kick, which means you cannot go for the post. And here we go again.
Taking it back now for a chance. Nas Botha must go for a drop.
Nas wanting his other players behind him. Here's Nas, drop goal attempt, and I think it's wide. It's to the right. So the score remains 15 points to 12, with the New Zealanders leading. 7 minutes gone in the second half.
Well, that's Nas Botha's third attempt at drop goals, and unsuccessful with all three.
Under it as well. Bartman beautifully taken by Wetton, but picked up by Frans Erasmus there. And the Springboks going to get it back. Nas Botha. And there's that long kick for the left wing, Carl du Plessis. Mike Clamp is ahead of him, though, and it's straight into touch. It looks as though it actually bounced on the line. And, of course, when that happens, it is taken as a kick directly into touch. That's the 10-metre line of the New Zealanders. Referee changing his position so he can see if there is any argy-bargy in the line out. Up went Jannie Breert, but I think the New Zealanders have it. Mexted driving in there, and Wetton. But the referee says it was knocked forward, and set scrum with Andrew Donald to put it in. Andrew Donald, who came on in place of Dave Loveridge after 14 minutes. Very quick heel held, Murray Mexted. Donald reversing well to Fox. And has Fox kicked it too far? I think it could. No, it's well in the field of play. A beautiful kick by Grant Fox. Landed it inside the field of play. So the New Zealanders on the attack, as you can see. Louis Moorman taking it cleanly there. And the referee says a Springbok ball, and the ball was dead. It wasn't going to emerge. Louis Moorman dragged down immediately. He got that ball. I think they were trying to pull him through onto the New Zealanders' side of the scrum. The referee wants them to scrum on the exact spot. Come back, he says. You probably heard that coming through the ground microphone. Got Small on this side, and scrum swinging around, and offside there. Ball cleverly held in the scrum. Jannie Breert, I think, had a sixth sense to know that the flank forwards were marauding around the side of the scrum, and he held it in. And that's a good kick by Nas. Lovely kick from his own 22 to his opponent's 22. There is Val Bartman. Murray Mexted at the back, in front of him Gary Wetton. Schalk Burger with the band around his head. And a short one, tapped back by Ashworth to Donald. And Jacko Reinach with it into Nas Botha. And Nas Botha keeping it in play. Murray Mexted is there. And Nas Botha with it. And he's going to score. Nas is going to score. A lovely piece of work by the fly half. A slightly lucky bounce perhaps. But handsome is as handsome does. and it is 4 more points to the Springboks.
Well, here we see it again, the pass from Jaco Reinach. A lot of people would have shouted run, pass, but Naas with a little chip ahead. Now watch for the very good offensive tackle from Johan Heunis here. There's Heunis storming down on Murray Mexted. Great tackle by him. The bounce straight into the little fly half's hands, and he is very quick over 22 meters. I think I'm right in saying that that is Naas's first try in Test match rugby.
And there's the second round of applause. While you were watching, Naas Botha converted his own try, and so that is the score. The Springboks leading by 2 goals and 2 penalties to 1 goal and 3 penalties by the New Zealanders, and the
New Zealand forwards in front of the kick.
So they opt for the scrum. They could have had a kick again. So Naas Botha had scored 204 points before the beginning of this game, and it's his 20th Test match. Garth Wright ball being cleverly held there, and Jock Hobbs swinging around, and with it is Jannie Breert. Good possession, helped by Piet Creer, and coming through quickly, Grant Fox fly hacking it. Naas Botha, Craig Green with it now. Craig Green keeping it in play. Johan Heunis is under it, and is it a knock forward? No, the ref says yes, the ref says it was knocked forward, and so that puts the All Blacks into a very good attacking position.
Well, Johan Heunis just clapping his hands in disappointment there, and angry with himself, I think, for a momentary lack of concentration. But of course, he who really set up that try for Naas Botha with a very good tackle.
And next head to Andrew Donald. He's got Craig Green there. Craig Green kept just short, only half a metre short. And the referee, what is he saying? He's saying it was
forward in the tackle.
Forward in the tackle. As Craig Green went down, the ball spattered forward, so Springboks only 3 meters from their line, but it is their ball. A very important one for Uli Schmidt to hook. He's got Frans Erasmus next to him on the loose head, and the Springboks will want to shove. Being held in the back row. Back to Naas, and Craig Green and Andrew Donald very quickly up onto Naas, but he did very well to get that away.
Well,
Surrounded by black jerseys.
That just shows you the immense value of a fly half being able to kick with either foot.
Yeah, left-footed kick there by Naas Botha, and you see how far away he booted that ball from well inside his own in-goal area. There's Andy Hayden, Gary Wetton, and out to Fox, Mark Shaw. Well tackled by the Springboks there, and I think that ball is going to be dead. Well, it's coming out. Andrew Donald with it, and he's in a gap looking for support. Who's he got there? He had Jock Hobbs. Back it goes to Gary Knight. New Zealanders going right over the top there. And back it comes. Fox out to Taylor. Taylor in a gap, but a knock forward, I think. Referee waiting for advantage, and he says there is no. He says there's no advantage as Donnie Gerber chased that ball.
Well, Donnie Gerber got up there very quickly because it was a very, very good tackle that he brought off on Warwick Taylor as Warwick Taylor was going through. But there you see the All Blacks, quite interesting, when they put the ball down, the others just come storming in. Sometimes it must be very close to obstruction, and Jannie Breert receiving attention. We'll see it now, the ball coming out quickly. Nice heel for the New Zealanders. Warwick Taylor, there's Gerber. Watch Gerber now. There goes Warwick Taylor. Very good tackle by Gerber. Michael du Plessis getting back quick through the hands. Heunis unable to hold on to it. And unlucky actually for the Springboks. Well, I suppose the scrum is going to be to New Zealand for the knock-on by Heunis, or it's going to be to South Africa for the knock-on by Warwick Taylor, is it? But no, it's going to be to New Zealand.
But Warwick Taylor, a second 5/8, has had some lovely breaks this afternoon.
Certainly has.
Waiting for it, Andy Donald. Fox, long one out of Simpson. Simpson there, and out it is to Craig Green. He's a danger man, a real danger man, but good tackling there. Ken Small coming across, and Heunis. That's Craig Green.
New Zealand ball. Craig Green very nearly took a quick one to Hicka Reid.
So the All Blacks are pressurising the Springbok defence. They've been on the attack now for quite a few minutes. That's John Ashworth. Behind him, Louis Moorman. Andy Hayden. Behind him is Skalkberger. Deep one to Mexted. Jock Hobbs has it. Warwick Taylor in there. And the Springboks trying to go forward. Is that ball buried? Yes, the referee says it will not emerge. Springbok ball. They were going forward, and the All Blacks.
And Jock Hobbs is in trouble. Jock Hobbs is just about to receive a little bit of attention at the back of the Springbok scrum there.
There he is on the ground next to the referee. Jock Hobbs, captain of the day.
He's actually done extremely well, Jock Hobbs, I think, in captaining, taking over from Andy Dalton. Here we see it again. And the ball went loose. There's the tackle. And Jock Hobbs just going down awkwardly under the tackle from Gert Smal.
Big Louis Moorman, number 5, talking to Uli Schmidt, Uli Schmidt, who is a medical doctor, of course, himself.
He was the man who tackled Dave Loveridge when Dave Loveridge was so badly concussed. But it was unfortunate for the New Zealanders, but I think they're lucky that they have a player of the caliber of Andy Donald to take over as a reserve. And he's done extremely well. Jock Hobbs, I think, difficult situation for him to take over from Andy Dalton. Great guy, great player.
Just waiting for the first aid men get off the field. Garth Wright. Lars Buerta. And this is a touch he won't miss, I'm sure. No, he hasn't. And
talking about Garth Wright, I think that one can say the great test debut has done very little wrong. His service has been crisp, sharp to Lars Buerta. Perhaps could use his own boot a little bit more and possibly a sniping break or two.
But he's also had far better protection from the Springbok forwards than they afforded to Christo Ferreira at the last test. They played a lot better. Mexted at the back, tapping it back, and going through is Gert Smal, picked up by Simpson. Simpson tackled by Gerber. They're getting to know each other again. A little bit of impetuousness between both the centres. And this is on the halfway line. 17 minutes gone in the second half. Springboks leading 18 points to 15. Fox. And taking it is Karel du Plessis. Kiernes shoveling it to Gerber there. And what's Gerber going to do? He's running into trouble and he's got nowhere to pass to. Gerber's very strong on his feet. He still has it, I think. Gert Smal trying to help him. Frans Erasmus going in, number 1.
Well, there the hold-up in play by the Springboks, and the New Zealanders going forward, attacking side's ball.
Now, when the ball is not on the ground, under law 20.7, it's the side that's going forward who get the right to put it in. When it's on the ground, it's a different matter. That's law 22. And Andrew Donald. Back, Fox, Taylor. Missing out a man to Crowley. And Kiernes coming in, picking up very well on the run, but having the ball knocked out of his hand. And Garth Wright. Good little chip into the box, and this is dangerous. Garth Wright has got it still, and no support. Springboks with it. Val Bartman, helped by Frans Erasmus on the halfway line. Garth Wright to Buerta. And has he got a gap? Being chased there by Jacko Reinach. Craig Green got his foot to it first.
Well, one might say thank you, Garth Wright, Chick.
Yes, very good work by the scrum half, Garth Wright. And that's put the Springboks onto the attack.
Pete Kruger there just giving Skalkberger a little encouragement. He looks a bit tired, but also a good debut by Pete Kruger in test matches against international countries.
And it looks as though we're going to have a... Lars Buerta has called the referee's attention to the fact that Michael du Plessis is not too good. Is it his teeth? He's a dentist by profession, of course, is Michael du Plessis. And Lars taking the opportunity of a swig at the magic water bottle.
Well, it's 18 points to 15. It's really still anybody's game.
Well, yes, we have had exactly 20 minutes in this game, and the Springboks leading by 2 goals and 2 penalties to the New Zealanders 1 goal and 3 penalties. 2 tries to 1 they're leading by. 18 points to 15. That's the score. Hika Reid, and well taken there by Andy Hayden. That's the first one he's taken in 2 hands, and good pass by Andy Donald there. And it's surprising that the New Zealanders have used the back of the line out nearly all the time. That was almost a surprise.
Well, the Springboks using the short line out again.
Burger trying to attack it back, and all of them missing it. Andy Donald in very quickly. Well tackled by Breert. And the Springboks, Naas Botha. So that was the tactics that the New Zealanders were using in the first half. Crowley with plenty of time.
Well, I think the big thing from a New Zealand point of view now is they really want to get their rolling mauls and rucks on the roll so that they can give their backs a chance to run. For South Africa, I think it's going to be a question from now on in of Botha trying to keep them down in the New Zealand half.
Willie Schmidt, a long one. Back is Nexted. Tackled by Small. Simpson. And Simpson had Hobbs there, couldn't quite find him. That's Fox. Grant Fox trying to pick up Hicker Reid on the inside. No. Out to Craig Green, but forward pass. The referee well positioned. That's Craig Green from Canterbury. From on the halfway line. Garthright. Crowley, a difficult ball, bounces. But he was inside his 22. Very close to the touch and crowded there by Wright following up well, and Reinach.
And again the four big men in for South Africa.
And Skalkberger very well taken by Wright. Naas Botha to Donny Gerber. There's the acceleration in the gap. And back to Naas Botha, but he can't do a drop goal. Hicker Reid was right on him. And eventually that's all he could do, but he did it very well indeed.
Well, that is just how incredibly quickly he summed up the situation. Turned one way, blocked. Turned the other way, blocked as well. And then a great little left-footed chip.
And now he's in the position that he loves to be in order to try a drop goal. And it looks as though it's Victor Simpson who's needing a little bit of attention there in the middle of the field. Referee Mr. Ken Rowlands from Wales. And I think both sides are very happy with the way he has controlled the first two internationals. I'm pretty certain they'll be happy about today. He's always in a very good position to see what's happening.
Well, here we see it again. Watch Naas Botha now. The horde of New Zealanders on the left-hand side came out on this side, and then he uses that little left-footed tactical chip so efficiently.
Mike Clamp having a quick swig of the water bottle, but Victor Simpson looks as though he's recovered. He it was who tackled Gerber very well indeed when Donny Gerber was really going great guns there, and quite a courageous tackle on him by Victor Simpson. With a tap back right. Is this a drop goal? No. Out it goes Duplessis. Gerber. Donny Gerber. Lots of here. Here's a drop goal attempt from Botha. And no, once again to the right and over the dead ball line. So it's not often you see Naas Botha missing 4 drop goals. But he has been on target with his place kicking. He's had 2 conversions and 2 penalties. He's only had 2 penalty opportunities. Or was it 3? Yeah, 3 he's had.
Well, one was from way out. You almost forget it. It was so far.
Val Bartman with it. He's tackled. In goes Pete Creer, number 3 at the back. And Val Bartman, the last man up with the ball. Right, swinging scrum, that's Jannie Breert. And Reinach, oh, Jannie Breert would have wanted to keep that ball in play because Reinach was really going down the wing. There he is at the back of the lineup next to Murray Mexted. So 15 minutes to go and the score 18-15. That's Gert Small. Springboks leading by 3 points. And well taken at the back there. I think it was Mark Shaw. Oh, the referee says no, that ball will not emerge. Andy Hayden, number 4, Gert Small, number 7 there. Slow heel, and the scrum has collapsed, I think. The referee says foot up and a free kick. And that's a good one by Grant Fox. Made sure of his touch, and he's got a lot of distance.
Well, that's just what New Zealand needed. Of course, now they need to get the possession to be able to get their backs on the go. The Springbok midfield looking a little bit dicey on the odd occasion. Warwick Taylor showing up nicely, but Green Mulman has it.
Last quarter in his 22. And that's over Craig Green's head. Oh no, beautifully taken by Green. Here in Crowley, he's challenged by Uli Schmidt. Kieran Crowley's had a good game today, scored a lovely try. Doesn't put foot wrong.
Well, I think that period in the first 20 of the half was the best period in this test match. There's been a lot of aimless kicking, a lot of kicking straight down the field, and the New Zealanders will have to gain control now.
Mark Shaw doing good work for the New Zealand side. Back to Fox, and there's Jock Hobbs in the line. Did well to get it to Mexted on the halfway line. And second phase they have Fox. There's that long kick that'll put them on the attack. Hughes won't get to this one, I think. Oh, he did quite well to do it, but he's got a narrow angle. And a lot of ground gained by Grant Fox there.
Well, the crowd don't like that at all. The New Zealand touch judge, who got inside the field and just said it was 2 meters.
Well, he's probably got a better line of sight than most of the crowd have. Well, back it goes. That's a good line out ball there. And there go the forwards trying to get it back again. Andrew Donald says he wants it. Tremendous ruck and back. Here's a drop goal attempt by Fox. Charged down. Who'll get this loose ball now? Mexted is in the thick of it. And so is Skalkberger. And Andrew Donald has it. Fox. Out to Warwick Taylor, Simpson, Crowley's in the line, he misses out to Craig Green. Green and Reinach managed to get his head in the way of that kick, and I think it went off his shoulder or his head into touch. Crowley thinks of a quick throw in, but too many Springboks there.
Well, again, that good control coming from the New Zealand forwards, and the Springboks having to be so careful not to give away a penalty in that situation. The temptation is just to slip in a hand or go beyond the back feet of the last men in that ruck. New Zealand opening it up nicely. Good cover by the Springboks. These are things that the crowd have really come to watch instead of the aimless kicking.
And the man getting attention once again is Victor Simpson, and he has had a pretty torrid afternoon on defence. He's got to mark. Here it is again, Hugh.
Well, there we see it again. Ball coming out. Nice pass in between the New Zealand Blacks. The flow is still not quite there. The long pass from Victor Simpson. Craig Green going, tries to get his cross kick in. Smothered by Jaco Reinach. And it's Gary Wetton who's receiving attention. Sorry, yes, Gary Wetton, the big lock.
Yeah, it wasn't Victor Simpson. Gary Wetton, who's had a very good game today. And both he and his brother, Alan, have both had a very good tour. That's Andy Hayden. Interesting, they're standing next to each other. Normally we have Gary Knight in between. And good tap back. Here's a drop goal attempt again, and this looks a good one. And it's there, it's all the way, and the scores are level. The referee in a very good position to see, and the scores are level.
Well, we'll see it again. Grant Fox has had 5 attempts at goal. This is his 5th. Gets his head down. The charge coming from Jannie Briot beautifully through the poles. 5 out of 5.
So there you have it, and the scores are made up for the Springboks: 2 goals and 2 penalties, and for the New Zealand's 1 goal, 1 drop and 3 penalties. And that is Frans Erasmus, helped by Jannie Briot, and Carl Bartman, Garth Wright, Michael Duplessis in the first 5/8 position. And that's a good up and under, and I think it went off Reinach's head. Uli Schmidt taking it. And Val Bartman carrying on. Good drive by Mulman is there. And they'll want it from second phase. And a penalty there for coming in the wrong side of the scrum. It was coming out of the Springbok side, and the New Zealanders prevented the ball. There's the referee from Wales, Mr. Rowlands. And the penalty against the New Zealanders forwards for preventing that ball coming out on the Springbok side.
Well, we'll see it again, and a good drive. There's Louis Moorman. Murray Mexted loosened the ball, but I think his boot just tacked it back, and then it was actually for playing the ball on the ground.
And here's the penalty, and it's there, and the Springboks have a lead of 3 points. As you see there, 31 minutes gone, so there is only another 9 minutes of ordinary time. And so each side has scored 3 penalties. For the Springboks, they've scored 2 goals against the New Zealanders, 1, but Grant Fox got that extra drop goal, so 3 points in it. 21 points to 18, and 9 minutes to go. Frans Erasmus with it, John Ashworth tackling him, number 1, and good work by Bartman. Not a great pass, but well taken by Nasburta. Out of Gerber, and is he going to, and there's Michael du Plessis, out on the left of Carl du Plessis, cutting inside Fox. And he's got Gerber with him, and Gerber's going to score his 14th try in Test rugby. Craig Green won't catch him. Donny Gerber. Donny Gerber, and that could well wrap it up for the Springboks.
Well, watch this, a bad pass from Garthright. Nasburta summing up the situation very well. Passed it out to Donny Gerber. Donny Gerber on the run through the hands of Michael du Plessis, then to the great left wing. Watch how he goes now. He just shakes his hips, darts inside Grant Fox. Watch the running off the ball by Donny Gerber. Brilliant on the outside. He still had quite a lot of work to do. Craig Green, now watch the acceleration as he sees Craig Green coming on. He is big, he is quick. There's no stopping him in that situation.
And while you were watching that, the try was converted by Nasburta, and so there you have the score, 27 points to 18, and it means the Springboks have scored 3 tries to the New Zealanders 1.
And we have an injury stoppage to Michael du Plessis.
So that score made up by 3 goals and 3 penalties for the Springboks, and New Zealanders have 1 goal, 1 drop goal, and 3 penalties.
Probably Garthright's first mistake of the afternoon. Gerber sees the light, opens up to Michael du Plessis. This is where Carl du Plessis is so brilliant. Darts inside Fox. Now watch how Gerber just positions himself there. On the outside, Carl du Plessis, probably one of his greatest assets is the timing of his pass. Donny Gerber all the way, 14 test tries.
And Donny Gerber now holding the record, and it looks as though it's going to be a replacement. Helgard Muller, that is, number 21 in his back, getting ready, but the referee says no, Michael du Plessis is fine. So Donny Gerber, who held the record for the largest number of tries scored for the Springboks in test matches, it was 14, now it's 15. He's got 15 tries, and the Springboks with that lead of 9 points, which means the New Zealanders will have to score twice if they're going to either draw or win this game. And Garthright with it, but the referee not happy about the way the ball went into the scrum, and he'll want it in a second time. Coming right across there, and Garthright says, the referee says play on. Nasburta, a good flip reverse pass to Hughes, and Hughes, a very good piece of work, landing it in the field of play.
Well, and putting it, very good refereeing by Clive Rowlands. He saw a foot from New Zealand coming into the Springbok scrum, put his hand up for the penalty and allowed the advantage. Well, for New Zealand, this is do or die. We've seen games won from this situation before, but they'll really have to do something and pull something out of the bag.
Good work by the New Zealand forwards there. Hicka Reid with it now, shoveling it back rather untidily, and that was Mike Clamp left in the position of having to kick the ball out, and you can see where it's gone out, only a metre from his own line. But
well, that's the desperate situation you get into, Chick. Either it clicks or it doesn't, and you try and open it up, things can really go haywire.
So the Springboks in an excellent position with their throw-in, 1 metre from their opponent's line, and taken beautifully by Gary Wetton, though. What has the referee said? He says a penalty to the New Zealanders for the Springboks coming in the wrong side of that ruck. John Fox. And he only got it to his 22-metre line, so the New Zealanders will want to get this ball and keep it live. The only chance they've got of pulling this game out of the fire is if they score tries. Tap back by Skalkberger, well taken by Garthright, and he probably did the right thing there to get rid of a bad ball, but there they're keeping it live. Crowley out to Victor Simpson, he's got Green with him, Craig Green. Craig Green keeping it, oh, I think he wanted to cross kick there, but it slid off the side of his foot, and he's looking a little disappointed for that. He was outside the 22, so directly into touch. Smiling faces of the crowd as we have left for play 3 minutes only. 3 minutes left and a 9-point difference. Tap back there by Skalkberger, and Garthright knocking it forward with the referee waiting for advantage. And there it is. Jock Hobbs it was in the 5/8 position. Down the line, and that's Mike Clamp, but he's well held. Trying to get Michael du Plessis is there. And back for it, Warwick Taylor. Taylor keeping it live to Jock Hobbs. Jock Hobbs helped by Hicker Reid. Mike Clamp getting into the act as well. Clamp with it now. Murray Mexted. Andrew Donald. Gary Wetton with it. Tackled. And the referee said it went forward, and it'll be a Springbok ball in the scrum down.
Well, I think New Zealand, if they're going to go on the drive from there, they just have to open it up a little bit. Rather let the drive come through from the first 5/8 or the centre. Pete Kruger, the Springbok tight head, in a little bit of trouble there. But they really have to open it up a fraction more. They're trying to drive from just outside their 22, and the defence is right there.
27 points to 18, the Springboks leading. 2 minutes of ordinary time gone. Jannie Breert on the drive. That's Val Bartman looking for support. Mulman, and advantage. Out it goes Mike Clamp. Clamp keeping it alive. Is it? No, it went off the side of his boot again. .38.5 minutes gone in the second half. And a long one, Jannie Breert at the back, trying to get it away, but the referee says not in straight. And what would the All Black players like? They would like a set scrum. They could have a line out if they wanted it. There they are, Ashworth, Hicker Reid, and Gary Knight. Very quick heel, and right, giving Andy Donald a hard time. Picked up by Andy Hayden. Mike Clamp, tackled by Carlo du Plessis. And the ball out to touch. There's a bit of a scuffle, unnecessary. Referee in there very quickly. And
well, Mike Clamp unhappy with the way he was tackled there, and it certainly was a very... Carl du Plessis is immensely strong. In fact, the kids at Stellenbosch University, where Darnie Craven had a thing when the under-20s were misbehaving, they used to just bring on Carl du Plessis, and he used to say to all 15, right, now try and tackle him.
And no one to stop Hobbs. That is Shaw. Tackled by Michael du Plessis. Laying it back. Donald out to Fox. Taylor. Simpson. Simpson cutting back inside when it might have been better to go outside. Fox getting scragged. And the referee says that ball is dead, gentlemen.
Well, once again, the New Zealanders with a 6-4 situation, just unable to draw the opposition. Not good through the hands.
And on the stopwatch, we have had 40 minutes play in the second half. 27 points to 18, the Springboks lead. And we're in the referee's extra time he adds for stoppages. Andy Donald out to Fox. Fox trying to break himself and knocks into Nasbuerta. Here's a furious ruck. And the ball on the ground. The referee says New Zealanders ball. And the last man up is Uli Schmidt for the Springboks. And Val Bartman getting up on the far side. And Grant Fox held in that ruck.
Well, the other thing is, I think, saying again that the scrums have been even. We haven't seen a single tight heel against the head.
And Andy Donald's perhaps their last chance. Out it goes there, Victor Simpson. And they want second phase now, if ever they did, but Scott Berger it is who picked it up. Andy Donald with it. They got the second phase. Fox. And Grant Fox knocked it forward. Still the referee waits for advantage, and he says there is advantage. Donny Gerber with it. Out to Reinach. Reinach the flyer. He's got Gerber with him as well. And he's going to score, I think. Reinach. Jaco Reinach. And he's over. The man who's done a 400 metres in.
Well, here we see it again.
Seconds.
It was New Zealand ball. And it's their mistakes that they're making. A bad knock by Grant Fox, capitalized by Gert Smal in there. Then watch for the hooker, Uli Schmidt. This is where he is so good. He hands off Warwick Taylor. Watch the timing of that pass. Brilliant. Donny Gerber's pass is beautiful. Jaco Reinach watches this again. Maybe he should have passed inside. He was taking an incredible chance by not passing to Donny Gerber. He beat Kieran Crowley, and then the South African 400 meters champion goes for home.
And here we're having the conversion kick, and it's all the way. So the Springboks have scored 4 goals, and I think that's the final whistle. 33 points to 18 the score, and that's made up of 4 goals and 3 penalties for the Springboks. For the New Zealanders, 1 goal, 1 drop and 3 penalties. The try scorers Uli Schmidt, Donny Gerber, Jaco Reinach for the Springboks, and Naas Botha. And for the New Zealanders, their try was scored by Kieran Crowley, the kicking done by Grant Fox for the New Zealanders, and Naas Botha for the Springboks. So, Hugh Bladen, we go forward to Ellis Park next week with 2-1.